Hello. So I haven't been updating this kind of thing for a while. It's because I've been super busy with a lot of things, but also I have like tried the Apple Continuity camera and it was always in 2.6 zoom. So I was like, damn, how can I film in this? And I found a way to adjust that. So we have the point 0.5 fish lens. Like if what's the thing in Pinterest? People do this, and then the angle just looks good with it. But yeah, we have the point 0.5, which I think it feels cuter compared to just the standard one. But yeah, lots of updates. I cut my hair. As you can see, it's kind of a wolf cut. I really like it a lot, and it's something that I've been wanting to do for like a really long time, ever since I was 16. It just so happens like circumstance and other stuff like didn't allow me to get my hair like this. And for me, hair is such like a really important like tool of like self-expression, because I can't get any piercings, tattoos, or whatever. Hey guys, Editing Marie here. I just want to say, if you enjoyed the video, maybe consider watching other videos right here. Okay, back to the video. Bye. Also, you can see my to be reads. Well, I'm reading them now. So I've read ACOTAR, the first book, and I really liked it. There's just like it gets good. It gets good in like the second half, and now I'm in the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury, which I like more than the first book. I'm already in page 208. This was after they went to the bone carver. But yeah, I like it. There's a lot of I would say, like, if you like fantasy but you're also you want like some, what's the term, romance and fantasy. I forgot how they call it, but then that's basically what this book is. Then I almost done reading this. I actually like put this on hold before, because like I don't think I was in the mind space to read this. This is Dan Howell's book, You Will Get Through This Night, which I think is such a good book for like a very anxious person like me. Like when I was 12, 11 or 12, and I was like watching Dan Howell's videos, like how many years ago? How many years ago was that? 7 or 8 years ago. There was a video of his which was called Existential Crisis, and that resonated with me a lot as a kid, because I remember when I was 4, I would always be crying about like death. Like I oh my god, I was so deep in thought when I was a kid. Like I was already thinking about death and all that stuff at like a very young age, and it like kept me up through the night. So I was like, I don't know, I never admitted this to anyone, but I was really like a crazy insomniac. I could never sleep properly. And the older that I got, the more that like, especially that video made me realize, like, okay, nothing is wrong with me. It just so happens that I think deeply. And this is one of my favorite parts, like something that I really actually use now. It's page 108 in this version of the book, but then it says like you have to divide your task into low value, high effort things, or low effort, high value things, which includes showering, drinking water, texting a concerned relative back, remembering to charge your imminently dead phone. That's a low effort, high value thing, which is something like Dan says in this book, which is like very important for you to do. That's low effort, so that you could maybe like keep yourself regulated, so that you're not like you don't smell like a pile of shit or something like that. It's called an effort matrix. Something that's low effort and low value, which is something that you save for later. Well, number one I really like is dabbing, which is yes, I do dab to procrastinate. And then like biting fingernails or anything, adjusting your hair in the mirror for an hour. So it's like something that doesn't really impact your day-to-day life, which you can save for later, which I really like as a person who tries to maximize like my study time and then minimize low value, low effort stuff, and then other things that are like low value, high effort, which is trying to open a coconut or anything with like cleaning, rearranging. Because sometimes I would just like procrastinate and then I would start like cleaning everything. So that is something that I think it's really good for accountability. Yeah, it's so good. There's so many. This is actually really helpful, especially from a person like Dan who has grown up basically on the internet and is like an internet figure. Like my this page on mindfulness, it's really, sorry, it's so hot. I'm like sweating like hell, bro, while I have your fans on. Okay, like mindfulness is one of the fundamentally important things to understand if you want to feel in control of your brain and the things it sends you. And like so many, I'm a person who has like so many ruminating thoughts, and this is like a wake up call to me to maybe like practice mindfulness. And I used to hate the idea of meditating because it's like somebody telling you to breathe in and breathe out. But like obviously when they force you to do that as a high schooler in school, like after every lunch, like you're in a you're in a classroom full of people that make you feel so awkward and make you feel so anxious. You're not gonna close your eyes. I wasn't gonna close my eyes because I didn't want to feel vulnerable. Like closing your eyes and not being aware of your surroundings makes me super anxious, makes me feel super vulnerable. But they were onto something when like they taught us how to meditate. And then there's also like a lot of things here about sleep, which I've been trying to implement because I'm not good at managing my sleep. Like obviously I feel like a lot of people experience this, but when you first lie down and then there's so many thoughts in your head, and it's like, oh, you can't sleep. That's why I take melatonin. I take you know what I do with my melatonin now? I used to take 5 milligrams, which I figured out was like a lot. And now I would just like crush it up, which is like so convenient because it's already crushed up into like 5 equal parts. So it's like 1 milligram or at least like less than 1 milligram, which I think is still a lot. But it's better than taking 5 milligrams and developing like a tolerance for it and having to up the dosage. So there's that. Melatonin has helped me like sleep better, which was something that I've always wanted to try out, but then uh like fear of having something wrong when taking melatonin was like a really I wouldn't it's like taking melatonin and admitting that you have a sleep problem is very stigmatized here for some reason. Like admitting that you have any sort of mental health problem in the Philippines and where I live in like a Chinese household, it's very stigmatized for some reason. That's why I like in school they offered like free health services and free mental health services, and I actually signed up for it, but I never told anyone that I took therapy basically, which is so funny because now I'm like telling like the internet, the void, not that anyone might watch this, but like the it's easier to admit to so many other people than to admit to the people around me now that I have this like problem. And I think my like I thought that there was there is something wrong with me, but then I thought that there was something unfixable about like me ruminating on like death and life and all that stuff, because I haven't met another person, or at least I haven't been validated that other people have this like existential crisis until I watched Dan when he was like doing his YouTube stuff. So I really like this book. Yeah. So those are the things that I've been reading now, that I have been reading a lot. There are some that are like sitting, but I haven't been like into it, unlike these two, which really good. I just have, and I actually like did most of this in like 1 or 2 days, which is crazy. I have never read something so fast, but you know, that's stuff that I've been reading. This is a journal, planner, something commonplace notebook, which is really nice. And I also have a study notebook because, like, okay, school started again, and I have been trying to lock in because, locking in is important because my first 2 years in college was so fucking shit. Like the first year, first semester, I already failed like 8 units of classes. That's like two subjects because it's like math and physics. And those were like really important prerequisites to other subjects. So I'm like delayed. But then it's fine because almost everyone is just going at the same pace I am. It just so happens like my department is really hellish, and uh being in like a public university, it it's hard to even enlist in classes in the first place because of the funding, all of this stuff, and the fact that I fucking live in the Philippines just makes everything like 100 times more difficult to like acquire and stuff like that. But yeah, whatever. It's good education, I think. Yeah, it's like teaching me how to learn on my own and stuff, not to rely on my professors, which I think is something copium. This copium. Anyways, whoa! I finished my. So sad. Oat milk is so good, by the way. That I'm like scared of oat milk because people are saying like, oh, oat milk is wait. Okay, oat milk is like it's gonna clog your arteries. You know what? I realized let's just be here for a good time. So I'm gonna get the fucking oat milk. It's fine. Maybe whole milk is also just as bad. We don't know. Is oat milk okay? Wait, let me look. Let's let's see if oat milk is good. Is oat milk good for you? Drinking oat milk is probably fine for your body unless you're drinking large quantities of it. Already loading your diet with carbs and or diabetic? What? But again, I had a stroke. Drinking oat milk is probably fine for your body unless you're drinking large quantities of it. Already loading your diet with carbs and or diabetic. So if you're diabetic, you can't drink oat milk because it's loaded with carbs because it's oats, okay? If most of your day's liquid is coming from any milk, plant-based or not, that's probably not great, and moderation is key. So anything in moderation is just like, yeah, it's I just love it's so good. It's creamy. Like I don't have to add any sweeteners or anything in my drink. I could just put like instant coffee straight up and then drink it with oat milk, and it's so good. Okay. What did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about okay, life updates. Uh I left I left my music org as well. Just because there was like a lot of stuff that happened last semester when I was VP of SocMed. Oh yeah, SocMed, and then even prior before that, I was already like just planning to stay for one semester. Then so happens that our VP resigned, and me and like three other people took over because we didn't know how to do shit. Basically, it was fucking crazy. It was very stressful for me as well, and like doing, I realized doing like VP stuff and then balancing it with like 17 units, not including 3 units of uncredited NSTP, but it's uncredited, but it's required, and then 2 units of PE, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So it's like I took 22 units. Not only that, on top of that, I had the fucking emotional, um, I know, I experienced like the emotional trauma of like 10 fucking units. So, there was a lot that happened. Like 4 units, there was a class that had 4 units that was called ES 101. Oh my god, that shit was like horrendous because every week we would have like a problem set due, and it wasn't only like one problem set. It was one problem set that standalone was like 1% of the total grade like per thing. So we had 12 of those, and it was equivalent to 12% of the grade. So there were like modules like from A to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. So from A to L, that's 12 modules. And then you had like an HPS, which was like a handwritten problem something. It's called HBS. And you had like 12 of those, one per module. And one was equivalent to 1% of the grade, which was due every week. And on top of that, we had like two other quizzes that were due that same week. So like every week we had like three requirements for that class. And on like surface level, that sounds okay. But this one maybe like took maybe 2 days to accomplish. And then the other two, you had to like, it was two quizzes, and per quiz you had only 3 attempts. You had 3 attempts in the online quiz, and the questions are different every time. And after you take one quiz, you have to have at least minimum 80% grade for all of them. So like you can only do this. You can only proceed to the next one if you got 80% on this, and then you can only proceed to the next one if you got 80% on this. It's something like that. You have to have a minimum, and then if you didn't get the minimum of 80%, the second attempt you had to like wait 4 hours before you fucking take it, and you only had 3 attempts. And if you didn't get the minimum at like the fourth attempt, no, at the third attempt, you had to email the department, and you had to like ask for forgiveness and like beg to make you take an attempt. And you still have to meet their like the minimum of 80%, but they're gonna multiply your grade by 0.5, which is divided by 2. So you have to get 80%, but they're gonna lower your grade to like half of it, which like is fucking insane. Like just I don't know. That was so strict of them, but I guess it was okay because at the end I thought I was gonna fail that class, but I was so glad I passed it because 4 units was really like, it was like 4 units off my back was like a really good thing. And not only that, our university had like a there's so many rules. Our university had like a minimum where you have to pass at least 24 units every year. If not, you get dismissed from your college. Then you have to write an appeal letter. You have to like get on your knees and beg and ask if you can ask for forgiveness, if you can go back to your department and stuff like that. There's so many processes. I also went through that in my first year. Fucking sucked. I was like, okay, you know what? If I get kicked out of engineering, maybe it's like a sign, maybe. And I didn't get kicked out. Every time I would be like begging on my knees for forgiveness, where I would always be like, please, if I pass this class, I will not shift out. I will not shift out of my course. And it fucking happened every fucking time. So my third year, and we are just like, you know what? I took it as a sign. I'm gonna stay in this department because I want to work. I want to work in what's the teenage engineering. I want to like my idea for my thesis, even though I know I'm not gonna do it yet. My idea for thesis is I'm gonna make something similar to teenage engineering, like the Rick and Morty pocket synthesizer. I want to make something like that, but a mini DJ set. Like it's just like a small like calculator size thing. I'm not gonna go to detail about it, but that's my idea. Nobody take that idea, please. I need for my thesis. I don't know yet though. Oh my god, it's like I'm sweating balls here. Okay, let's just keep that light on then. But yeah, wait. I yap too much, bro. Okay, I went on a tangent with that, but I actually like quit social media. I deleted Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Yeah, those. I deleted all of that. I thought I was gonna be like tweaking. Well, I did tweak like the first week, but I was so happy when I've become much more happier now that I've deleted that. And I think my attention span might be coming back just because I deleted those apps, and all I have left, all I scroll in is like Pinterest, Reddit, and YouTube. That's all. I've become like a redditor. I have like 22 days streak, but YouTube, I have to kind of maybe cut down a bit too, because like I play it in the background while I'm working, but it's better than doom scrolling. And something that I've done a lot, which like which also didn't help me sleep a lot, was doom scroll. And it's something that I do. It's like the revenge bedtime thing. If you don't know what that is, it's like you have so many responsibilities in the day on your phone that the only time that you can actually have time to yourself and enjoy it is bedtime. That's why they call it revenge bedtime, something where you just like scroll, like you take back the time that you wanted throughout the day, something like that. Then that's whoa, that's something I really did a lot before. But now I just do it, like I scroll in Pinterest and then I fall asleep because it's like less stimulating compared to being on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, like anything that had like short form video. And I know YouTube has short form videos, but it's way easier to not click on them for some reason. But yeah, that's something that I've been doing. And like, as I don't know, as like a college student, you can't like afford I can't afford to like waste time on social media apps. And I know I have to go back to Facebook again because I'm joining my home org. And a home org, I don't know if fucking hell, I don't know if people use that term, but home orgs are like the org of your like department. So I'm joining the org that's for like my department, which is based on like engineering, electronics, stuff like that. It's something that I didn't want to join at first, but then I was like, okay, since I'm in my third year, I might as well, because I really didn't like the idea of having multiple orgs. Like I only had one org ever since, and that's my music org, because that's like a passion project that slowly became like a burnt out thing, and then I had to leave and all that stuff. It was like I don't want to get into the details of it, but TLDR, it was just basically something that I didn't enjoy anymore. And it felt more like a job for me, which like I know it is, but then it's something that I wanted to enjoy, but then I couldn't anymore. And it consumed a lot of my time. So I had to leave, even though I didn't want to, but then I think it's the best thing that I did. Like I'm so happy. I'm so happy I left. Just like I left the work. Like, I'm still friends with like a lot of people there. So, it like not like the dynamics haven't changed that much. It just so happens that I'm enjoying more time alone and not working until I have to work again. But then I'm planning to keep it more low key when I do join another org. Yeah. And I don't know. There's so much shit that happened. Yeah. And it's just tiring. I think having to anxiously like check my phone for stuff that I need to post, because some people send stuff late, or it's like it's something that is like urgent, need to post or something like that. And I tried to like implement a system that would make it less difficult for me, so that I know what time I have to post stuff. But then overall, like I had no time to rest. I was just basically like checking my phone anxiously, because I know that people want to like post stuff, and I had to like be chronically online and stuff like that. Ooh, there's like some. Oh, that is not good. Okay. Yeah. So that's why I've been reading a lot. I've caught up on so many books. Yeah, I caught up on so many books. Look at that. I finished ACOTAR, then now I'm like almost halfway through this. This is 600 pages, bro. And this one I'm almost done, which I really enjoyed this one. Then I've been journaling a lot. I've been like, look at this. Like, I am on top of my work, which I hope continues throughout this semester. And I hope like I don't have that much difficulty with school anymore. I don't know. I can't say for sure because like obviously like things change and stuff like that. But that I've become more organized. Hopefully, I guess I think college is so hard. Like there's so many canon events, and I'm so scared of like graduating honestly because I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want to do. All I know what I want to do is get out of this fucking country and live in like a cold climate, like right before the fucking sun explodes and like the fucking fucking climate change like destroys everything, you know. I want to live independently and stuff. And I also hate the weather here. Like I'm sweating balls. Bro, I feel like I'm not built for to fucking live in a hot ass country. I will die. I like cold weather, bro. And I know like a lot of people in cold weather like the opposite. They like living in a hot country. Well, I want to go to a country that's cold because I sweat a lot, and I think I sweat like ever since I noticed I sweat a lot. I think it's mostly like through like not only is it hot, but I have like general like anxiety every time I go outside because sometimes I think to myself, oh, am I walking weird or am I like is something not I don't know. It's more in appearances, which I hate because like there's just like this voice instilled in me like, oh, they're staring at you because you look ugly as hell, or oh, they're staring at you because like your whatever your pants zipper is open. That's why I always check that shit, bro. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's like so dumb. Wait, look at this. If I zoom in, it doesn't really look as. Oh my god, my face is so dry. Okay, let's go back a bit. Like my skin looks good here, but like here, oh, you can see everything. It's so dry. Yeah. Also, I think this is cozier. Like there's a safe distance. Oh shit. Yeah, and I don't know, like my sister has been keeping me up to date on all the memes on all the new memes on TikTok. So I'm not like missing out. Even though I know I'm missing out on a lot of stuff, I think it's better that I just live in my own bubble for a while, you know. Like I'm still up to date with news. I read articles now on Google, which I think is way better than just like receiving news on TikTok from like from the talking fish in SpongeBob. Yeah, okay. I think I've yapped too much. 27 minutes, that's a new record. Okay, yeah. Subscribe, please. Thank you. Bye bye.